Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I am doing another one-shot today. Today's fan fiction, at the time of recording, it's the most recent one that I've written. This one is called Bakugo's Forced Filter. It is obviously my hero fandom and Bakugo and Kirishima relationship. The characters that are in this one are Bakugo Katsuki, Kirishima Eijiro, Sero Hanta, and Kaminari Denki. The tags for this one are humor, Bakugo Katsuki centric, mutual pining, confessions, friends to lovers, comedy. Bakugo Katsuki is bad at communicating. Kirishima Eijiro is a good friend. Kirishima Eijiro is a ray of sunshine. Crack treated seriously. Idiots in love, and fluff and humor. This one is about 2,300 words. Here's the summary. After a strange incident during hero work, Bakugo's mouth gets stuck on a forced filter, and he can only speak compliments. No insults, no yelling, just awkward, uncharacteristic praise he can't control. Bakugo hates it, Kirishima's quietly amused, and the rest of the dorm isn't sure what to make of this unexpectedly soft version of their most explosive classmate. Here's the story. The call was routine, too routine for Bakugo's taste. A small robbery at a corner store, some panicked civilians, and a couple of half-baked criminals trying to make a name for themselves. Still, he responded like a pro. Bakugo was already halfway through barking orders and blasting open the exit doors when he noticed a kid crouched behind the snack aisle. Big eyes, trembling hands, scared out of their mind, but not in immediate danger. He didn't stop to talk. He didn't shout. Just grabbed the kid under his arm and carried them out through the smoke and the sirens. Somewhere along the way, the kid's hand brushed his. It felt a little warm, like static electricity, but quirks did weird things all the time. Bakugo didn't even blink. He handed the kid off to nearby rescue worker and was back into the fray before he could even register anything strange had happened. His focus stayed locked on wrapping up the mission. No quirk malfunctions, no visible injuries, no dramatics, just another job done. By the time he finished giving his debrief and headed back to the dorms, everything still felt normal. It wasn't until Bakugo was back at the dorms that things started to get weird. He kicked off his boots in the entryway, shoulders still buzzing with the adrenaline of hero work. All he wanted was some food, maybe a hot shower, and then to be left the hell alone. He walked into the common room like he always did, body tense, perpetual scowl, ready to either fight someone or make them regret talking to him. Kirishima was on the couch with Sero and Kaminari, flipping through a magazine and laughing at something stupid. Perfect target. Bakugo stalked over and opened his mouth, ready to fire off the usual, "Oi, shitty hair, what the hell are you?" But what came out was, "Looking good today, Kirishima." The room went silent. Sero turned so fast he nearly fell off the couch. Kaminari dropped his phone. Kirishima's head snapped around, mouth half open. Bakugo blinked. "Wait, what? What did you just say?" Kaminari asked, voice cracking with disbelief. Bakugo frowned. "I said," but before he could finish, his mouth was already moving again. "That red suits you. Like, it really brings out your whole confidence thing." The words died on his own ears. That's not what he meant to say. Bakugo stared at Kirishima. Everyone stared at Bakugo. There was a beat of stunned silence before Kirishima let out a confused chuckle. Thanks?" Bakugo turned on his heel and walked away without another word, jaw clenched so tight it was a miracle he didn't crack a tooth. Inside his head, he was screaming. What the hell was that? Bakugo narrowed his eyes. He didn't mean to say that. That wasn't even close to what he was going to say. Bakugo's eye twitched. Tch, whatever, he muttered. He didn't stop walking until he was in the kitchen, leaning on the counter like it had personally wronged him. Voices trickled in from the common room behind him, hushed, confused, and a little amused. Did that actually just happen? Kaminari whispered, way too loud to be whispering. Maybe he's sick, Sero offered. He never compliments people, Kaminari said. Like, ever. Footsteps padded closer, and Bakugo didn't even need to look to know who it was. Of course he would follow. He was going to tell Kirishima to stop slouching like an idiot and to shut Kaminari up before Bakugo did it himself. Instead, you're always so upbeat, Bakugo said through clenched teeth, voice completely disconnected from his brain. It's really admirable. More silence. Kirishima scratched the back of his neck. Not that I'm complaining, but, are you okay, man? Okay? That was weird. Maybe he was overtired. Maybe the stress of work study was finally fraying his nerves. That had to be it. Sleep-deprived people say dumb things all the time, right? No, that didn't make any sense. He didn't talk like that. He doesn't say things like that. He scowled at the wall, willing his mouth to cooperate. Kirishima is a dumbass. But that wasn't what came out. His brow furrowed. Kirishima is loud and reckless and the most dependable guy on the team, he muttered aloud. He slapped a hand over his mouth. His eyes widened. What the hell? Bakugo didn't sleep. He lay in bed, wide awake, arms folded behind his head, scowling at the ceiling like it was personally responsible for his humiliation. It wasn't just one slip-up. It wasn't a fluke. He tested it. He tried calling Kaminari a dumbass, tried muttering an insult about Aizawa under his breath, tried yelling at his reflection in the mirror just to say something mean, and every time the words bent themselves into compliments before they could hit the air. It was like his mouth was being held hostage by some twisted politeness quirk. His own thoughts were as sharp and scathing as ever, but anything he said out loud came out nice. Nice? It made his skin crawl. And worst of all, he still didn't know what caused it. The next morning, he avoided the common room for as long as possible, but hunger won out eventually, and he stomped his way down to the kitchen, hoping to sneak in and grab something quick without talking to anyone. No such luck. Kirishima was already there, standing at the stove in pajama pants and a tank top, making eggs and humming to himself like this was a slice of life anime, not the worst day of Bakugo's life. Bakugo froze. He could turn around now, pretend he forgot something, escape. But Kirishima had already turned around and spotted him, face lighting up in that sunshine smile way that always made Bakugo's brain skip a beat. Morning, man, Kirishima said, quieter this time. About last night. Is everything okay? You don't usually say stuff like that. Bakugo tried to say something normal, something neutral. Your, cooking smells good. Kirishima blinked, spatula in hand. Oh, thanks. Bakugo growled under his breath and moved to the fridge. Kirishima casually leaned on the counter, watching him. Not used to hearing that kind of talk from you. You sure you're okay? I'm fine, Bakugo snapped, or tried to. But what actually came out was, I'm just thinking about how much I appreciate your support. Oh my god. Kirishima choked on nothing. You appreciate me? Bakugo squeezed his eyes shut. Forget it, he muttered, then louder. It's not a big deal. Just, you're reliable, okay? You always come through, and I don't say it, but I notice. Kirishima slowly lowered the spatula. Okay, now I know something's wrong. Bakugo stared at the fridge door, like he could will it to suck him into another dimension. It's not. You never say stuff like that, Kirishima said, folding his arms. Last time I changed my hair, you said I looked like a lava lamp and told me to go fix my head. Bakugo went, yeah, well, your hair looks great now, like inspiring or whatever. Kirishima gave him a long, slow look. Are you dying? What? No. Wait, are you in love with me? Bakugo's entire body locked up. He turned to look at Kirishima so fast, it was a miracle he didn't get whiplash. What? I'm just saying, Kirishima said, raising his hand defensively. This is kind of how people act when they're, secretly into someone. Bakugo opened his mouth to scream. What came out was, I think about you a lot. Kill me now. Kirishima blinked. Bakugo turned and walked out of the kitchen without another word, face flaming and fists clenched. He didn't stop until he was down the hallway, muttering every curse word he knew under his breath, and every single one came out as compliments about Kirishima's personality, his dedication, his arms, and how good he looked in red. Bakugo didn't stop until he hit the training room. He slammed the door behind him, grabbed a towel from the rack, and hurled it across the room as hard as he could. It didn't help. Nothing helped. He paced in furious circles, muttering under his breath like a man possessed. Kirishima is honorable. He's steady. He's got a good heart. He makes people feel safe. I respect him more than I respect most pro heroes. No, I do not. He punched the wall, not hard enough to break it, but hard enough to feel the sting in his knuckles. What the hell is happening to me? The door creaked open behind him. He didn't have to look. He knew who it was. Bakugo? Kirishima's voice was careful, quiet in a way that wasn't normal for him. Bakugo turned his face away. Don't. I wanted to check if you're okay. This isn't like you. I know it's not like me, Bakugo barked, but again his voice betrayed him. I've never felt this safe around anyone before. He blurted out, You're so damn loyal. It pisses me off how much I like having you around. He slapped a hand over his mouth again, eyes wide. Kirishima stared at him, stunned. Bakugo. I'm trying to yell at you, Bakugo growled, pacing like a caged animal. I want to yell at you. I want to tell you to leave me alone. But every time I open my mouth, it's just this garbage. More words spilled out, unbidden. I admire the way you stick to your morals. I think you're the best sparring partner I've ever had. You're smart. You're brave. You're everything I'm not good at being. Silence. He stopped pacing, breathing heavy, hands trembling with how hard he was trying to hold himself together. Kirishima took a step closer, voice soft. Did you mean that? Bakugo didn't answer right away. He turned, eyes burning, jaw tight. I didn't mean to say it. But is it true? Bakugo looked at him, really looked at him, at the worry in Kirishima's eyes, at the way he wasn't laughing, wasn't mocking, wasn't even smiling, just listening. Yeah, Bakugo said quietly. Yeah, it's true. Kirishima's expression softened. Okay, he said, like it was the easiest thing in the world. Then I'm glad you said it, even if it wasn't on purpose. Bakugo groaned and covered his face with both of his hands. This is so humiliating. Not really, Kirishima said. I think it's kind of nice. Bakugo shot him a look. Not the part where you're suffering, Kirishima added quickly. Just hearing how you really feel. Bakugo muttered something under his breath about throwing himself into a volcano. Kirishima laughed. Hey, if it helps, I like you too. Bakugo froze. What? Yeah, Kirishima said, rubbing the back of his neck. I mean, I've liked you for a long time. I kind of figured you didn't feel the same, so I didn't say anything. But if whatever's going on made you admit all that, well, maybe it wasn't so bad. Bakugo looked like he was buffering. I swear to God, if this is a joke, it's not, Kirishima said. I promise. It ended just as quickly as it began. No flash of light, no dramatic realization. One moment, Bakugo was trying not to compliment the curve of Kirishima's stupidly attractive jawline, and the next, he opened his mouth, ready to test it again. You're an idiot. The words came out rough, snappy, exactly how he meant them. He blinked. You're an idiot. No compliments, no glowing reviews, no poetic declarations of loyalty or praise, just good old-fashioned rage. Bakugo stood still in the training room, stunned. Holy shit, he whispered. I'm back. From across the room, Kirishima looked up from the bench where he was tying his sneakers. Huh? Bakugo slowly turned to him, eyes wide. I said you're an idiot. Kirishima grinned, teeth sharp. There he is. Don't get excited, Bakugo snapped, pointing at him. This doesn't mean I take anything back. Oh, no, Kirishima said with a smirk, standing up. You definitely meant all of it. The admiration, the loyalty, the part where you think about me all the time. Bakugo turned bright red. I was compromised. You were honest, Kirishima said gently, and I'm glad I got to hear it, even if it was weird. Bakugo crossed his arms and glared at the floor. I hate this. You love this, Kirishima grinned, casually pointing at himself. Bakugo groaned. Why are you like this? Kirishima stepped closer, suddenly more serious. Hey, I meant everything I said yesterday. You know, I like you. Whether you're yelling at me or accidentally telling me I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you. I never said that, Bakugo muttered, ears still red. You said stuff like that. There was a long, heavy silence. Bakugo stared at him the way Kirishima was still smiling, still soft around the edges, like none of this scared him. He scowled, instinct flaring up just to cover the nerves. You're seriously not going to stop smiling like that, shitty hair? Kirishima only grinned wider. Kirishima let out a loud, dramatic sigh, stepping forward like he was so pleased with himself. You're lucky I've kind of always liked it when you called me shitty hair, even if you're being an ass. Bakugo took a shaky breath, eyes flicking away. I'm not good at this, he said quietly. I wasn't going to do this whole confession thing. I didn't even know why I'm telling you this, but he rubbed the back of his neck, face burning. I want to try. Like, I want to be real about it. I want to be your boyfriend, even if I have no fucking idea how to do this. Kirishima's smile widened into something stupid and perfect. Honestly, that's all I've ever wanted, and I've been hoping for a long time to hear you say it. Bakugo let out a breath, like he had been holding it for a year. Bakugo glanced away, then back. So, that's it? I mean, unless you want me to get down on one knee, Kirishima said, grinning. Bakugo rolled his eyes. Don't push it, dumbass. Yeah, Kirishima said, voice low, but I'm your dumbass. Bakugo snorted, shoving him lightly. Damn right you are. All right, friends, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was definitely one of those like brainworm things. I got the idea in my head and I thought about it for so long until I finally decided to write it all down. So, like I said, thank you guys so much. Please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel so you can always find out when I post new videos. And I will see you guys next time.